Welcome back, blade lovers. This old sword with you once again. And top of the morning to you. This is going to be dropping in the morning, so top of the morning to you, but who knows? You may be picking up on it in the evening, midnight. Some of you guys are up 2 a.m. flicking your knives. We're crazy, aren't we? Yes, sir. Well, I bought another off-grid knives. This came off of Amazon. There was a price reduction of, I don't know, 15-20%. And this is their upper tier of knives. I figure I'd give you the full unboxing experience here. This is the Scorpion. And this is a model called the Slate. Comes in about 3 or 4 different models. And whereas the other off-grid knives are coming in, many of them under 100 or just a little over 100. This one is breaking the $200 mark. These are made by We Knives. I'm sorry. They were made by We Knives. They're now made by Best Tech for off-grid. It's an all titanium handle. It is a titanium clip and titanium screws, and a very nice M390 blade. So they bumped it up from the original, from the S35VN and being made by We to M390 being made by Best Tech. And that's across the board. I believe Best Tech is making all of their lower tier knives as well. But I chose this one. I kind of hemmed and hawed. There was a blacked out handle with like a copper infused carbon fiber. This is just your kind of your rudimentary regular carbon fiber weave. You can feel a very small amount of demarcation there, here and there, but generally speaking, it is quite smooth. Carbon fiber, as you know, is a material that is not prone to shrinking or expanding with the elements. Also, I chose this because it has a flat that is a nice brushed finish. Well, they use a gray Cerakote or some such thing on the grinds. And it is a flat grind, near as I can tell. It's kind of what you call a reverse Tonto, kind of like a Benchmade 940. And we're going to be measuring it up shortly, but it is a full-size knife with almost a 4-inch blade. So you know I like large knives, and many of you do too. It has a full deep carry pocket clip that is transferable to the left side. They leave the screws in there. There is no plate, but everything is flush or below the surface, so you get no drag. And same is true when you mount the clip. So very, very nice. Nicely thought out, nicely done. Well, let's measure it up, and then we're going to do some compares to a few other blades. See if I can back out. Okay. Yeah, that's about enough. What the heck? So overall, and I'm told to try to show the whole knife in these measurement vids. 8 3/4 if you don't include the clip. And boy, it's just coming in like 3.95 on the blade length and like 3.9 on the cutting edge. So we're you know, close enough to call that a 4-inch for sure. Let's see what we got the old micrometer set to here, millimeters. So let's do the blade stock in millimeters, and I'm going to call that a 4mm blade stock. If we go to inches, 0.15. And a nice thin handle, 0.48. So if you don't want a pocket buster, this is the one. And if I find the scale soon, it's lurking around somewhere, I will give you a weight. All right, found it. Using it elsewhere for something else. Makes a nice postal scale too. And zero it out. I said zero it out. Okay. 4.97. So close enough to call that a 5-ounce knife exactly. So in terms of the handle thickness and in terms of the weight, very nice ratio. I mean, it could be, if you're going ounce per inch, it should be 4 ounces, right? But that's pretty tough. You got a solid titanium handle with, I believe, no weight relieving. Let's see. No weight relieving. That probably kept the cost down a little bit. Otherwise, this has got the feel and the build of a knife well up into the 200s, maybe closer to 3. It's on bearings. We have carbon fiber inserts on both sides, which is nice. Got a little itty bit there. You got a run of it there. And you've got 2 sections on the show side. Nice relief there for accessing the lock bar. Although I really access the lock bar up here and not over here, but it does give you a relief there. That's a bit unusual. And the other thing I was noticing is that the lockup on this is quite shallow, although there is absolutely no lock, rock, or blade play. It's just tight as a drum, even though it's practically completely dropped shut. And you can feel it. I tried, but I have to say these do loosen up quickly over time. And if you simply commit to it, I mean, that wasn't a lot of effort. It gives you a very nice, satisfying clack upon opening. Definitely a smooth knife. And again, if this worries you, I understand. But one of the reasons that you don't see lock bars, you know, in the middle or all the way over is that the whole purpose of that steel insert is to wear against the steel blade. And if M390 is hardened properly, it's around 60 to 61 to 62 Rockwell. So you've got a hardened steel insert working against that, and it does wear over time, and this bar will walk over with time. So get a good number of years of use of opening and closing out of this knife before you need to worry about that. I won't dwell on it much longer, but is it a problem when you're holding the knife? You're actually compressing the lock bar. Some people test their knives by whacking the back onto a wooden table, see if it is defeated. I tried that a little bit, and it just stayed put right where it is. So at the same time, there's a nice amount of tension on that lock bar so that you can both disengage it, it's not loose, and you can lock it up when it opens. So that's all I'll say. And the clip, once again, really, really nice. Got kind of a off-center kind of a coffin handle look to it with that geometric design to the handle. You've got 1 flat, 2 flat, 3 flats, 4, 5 different flat surfaces. So it is kind of a polygon. Really nice jimping into the titanium handle. It is a titanium backspacer, titanium screws, and of course a steel pivot. And the clip is definitely titanium. And it's a nice thick one too, so you've got some good spring to it. It's smooth, it lies low, so I think in and out of the pocket is going to be very, very nice. Now, I've got this one that I purchased after seeing Bob DeMarco show it off. This was purchased directly from Off-Grid Knives. And this is the Enforcer. This is a very large knife, 4-inch knife, out of What did they make this one out of? I think it's, yeah, 154 cm. That's your blackened stonewash blade with, it's what they call the Red Dawn G10. One of those lines of red inside the black. It's got a removable glass breaker, comes out pretty easily, and switchable deep carry clip. Now, for size comparison, it is a taller knife, and overall, it is certainly longer. It's got a longer handle, has a massive handle, but if we nudge this up so that the handles are even, they're the same size blade, so they're both, this is probably a little closer to 4-inch, this is just slightly sub 4-inch. I'll be back with you in a moment. We got to do a quick battery change. Sorry about that. Okay, well, I could have done that a little more gracefully, but that took me by surprise. I do not use a cell phone. I use a bona fide digital camera to do these reviews, being a photographer for a long time, so every now and then that catches me off guard. But what we were talking about here was that the Enforcer XL is a good inch longer overall, much larger, beefier, thicker handle, weighs more, even though it's got some weight relieving, I believe. Is a liner lock as opposed to a frame lock, and let's see what it's locking up at. Yeah, a little bit better. It's about 35–40%. And a Warncliffe style blade with a broad belly and halfway up grind, and this has already become drop shut just from a few openings and closings. So this is a light, long, extremely well made, nicely designed knife of the Elite series from Off Grid Knives, made by Bestech. So essentially you're looking at a Bestech knife here that was designed by Off Grid. Beautiful action, smooth. Only open and close this thing so far maybe 20–30 times, and it's just getting better with every open and close. Well, one thing I did want to do before I forget is compare that to the Reptilian. So it's a bigger knife by about an inch than the Reptilian. Certainly a longer blade. And what I have handy here too is the Rat 1 from Ontario. And the Rat 1 is coming in pretty close, although just a bit longer on the Scorpion. So definitely a full-size knife, as I said, and I will leave it up to you as to what you think. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll be back with you soon. Got a few new and more things coming in today, as a matter of fact, so you should see some new postings coming up relatively soon. Catch you soon.